Hi everyone, good day. I'm Captain Gaurav Rana. This is Sea and Beyond, and with me I have Captain Gajanan Karanjikar and Captain Daniel Joseph. Captain Gajanan, I mean, दोनों का नाम ही काफी है. Almost all shipping fraternity. We all know both of them. Just a quick introduction. Captain Gajanan, he's a global ambassador of sustainability. He is a president of All India Maritime Pilots Association. He's a blue economy social activist. I mean, he's worked in port sector. He's worked in logistics sector. He teaches at various IMs. I mean, we can go on and on and on, but I'm sure most of us would know Captain Gajanan. Again, I also have with me Captain Daniel Joseph. Captain Daniel Joseph works in DG Shipping, Indian administration. He's essentially, messiah of our seafarers. He's helped the seafaring community a lot. And one of the more empathetic persons that you would find around. So welcome, Captain Gajanan, Captain Daniel. In this video, what we're trying to do is India has recently been elected in the IMO Council category B. This was big news a few days back. But what does it actually mean, right? What does it affect us as a seafarer or as a nation or to us as a maritime fraternity? Maybe we are aware, maybe we are not aware. Captain Joseph was there in IMO in UK when this election was happening, and he will tell us more about it. And Captain Gajanan will, of course, add his inputs from a commercial, from a international trade perspective. So I'll start my questions now, and this is to you, Captain Daniel Joseph. What is IMO Council election, and how many countries are there?
Good day, everyone. Thank you, first of all, Captain Rana, for inviting me to this interview. Whatever possible, I will try to answer with all honesty. I was part of the Indian delegation, which recently was in UK, IMO London, for the council elections. The delegation was headed by our Secretary Shipping and DG Shipping and various members of our DG Shipping and High Commission in UK. The IMO has currently 175 member states and 3 associate members. Associate members doesn't have these voting rights, and rest all members have voting rights. So each member, whether it is US or whether it is Algeria, Albania, Lithuania, small country, big, small, has single vote. Every country has one vote. So out of this 175 countries, the countries are required to pay the funding, the dues, which is required to be paid as per the tonnage. So whoever is paying regularly the dues are allowed to vote for the elections for the council. So IMO currently has 175 member states and 3 associate members. Okay, every country has voting rights, and if they are not paying the dues which is required by the charter of the IMO convention, then they are not allowed to vote. Okay, so there were 10 countries which were not allowed to vote during the time, but then you have appeal procedure. You can appeal basis your situation in the country. So some 3 countries were allowed to vote. Okay, so some 7 or 8 countries were not allowed to vote. So total voting was 167.
Okay.
So what is this council? The council is actually the executive organ of IMO. So the council is basically responsible under the assembly. Assembly is the highest body for supervising the work of the organization. Okay. because this assembly meets every 2 years. Okay. Assembly basically endorses whatever the council does. Okay. So council meets every 6 months and they do all the functions of the assembly, and then finally assembly endorses it. This council has only 40 members. There is a talk to increase it to 54 members, depending upon the increased geographical region and the presence of other country. Okay. So there is a total of 40 council members which run and function on behalf of the assembly, which meets every 2 years. And there are various categories which I will subsequently add on.
Great, great. Good to know, Captain Daniel. I understand there are three categories, category A, B, and C. And if you can throw some light on what these categories are, what does it mean, and if there at all there is any hierarchy to it.
Okay. There are three categories: category A, category B, and category C. There is no hierarchy. Each member of the council has one vote, and it is same. The reason for categorizing this category A, category B, and category C is for the reason category A has 10 member states with largest interest in providing international shipping services. It is related to shipping services. Category B is 10 states with largest interest in international seaborne trade. And category C contains 20 member states which are not under A and B, but which have special interests in maritime transport or navigation, and whose election to the council will ensure that equal representation of all major geographic areas of the world are covered. So that is the categories.
Understood. Understood.
Just to add, if you allow me to add, I mean, as Captain Daniel was himself there, and I mean, you will hear it from the horse's mouth as to what exactly happened there, which is more interesting. And first of all, thank you, Gaurav, for this session, because this would be a maritime awareness thing for the people. People really don't know how the IMO functions. I mean, I really get pain when I take extra masters classes and understanding this. Even the students don't understand how to use the IMO website. And Daniel has done once a session on this as to how to use IMO website. So he has got that deep knowledge. Now with the IMO being a member on UN, and UN being at the head of the international trade, if you say shipping handling 90% of the cargo or the trading has a very particular thing, has a very peculiar importance in this. So these assembly elections, or the countries which are being perceived as having interest in particular, you know, area of shipping, has a lot of meaning to the country's progress. We will discuss as it comes ahead. If you see the entire, shipping logistics and the role of UN in that, in international trade, and then shipping's role in that, and the IMO role is so much highlighted. So IMO has really a very big, kind of a role to play in this, and assembly does so with the help of countries. Only 40 countries are allowed to be in the councils, but still, and those countries, if you read, you can really read their maritime interests. Anyway, go ahead.
Great, great. Thanks for your inputs. So moving on to the third question, Captain Daniel. How was India represented, and in which category? And can the country choose itself which category they would want to, be in? And so your inputs on that.
Okay. So how India was represented? This is a very good question. So the planning starts now, like for next 2 years. So we had our predecessors, ex DG Amitabh ji, our additional DG, present DG, present secretary, previous secretary. They had this vision, that India should be the leader. Actually, we are now, if you see, we had the G20 presidency, So we are always thinking on those lines. So our top management had also this vision that India should be in the top, whichever category we stand for, we should be in the uh, top, leading everywhere, because the expectation from everybody is very, very much. If you go to UK, and especially if you meet people know you when you're putting that Indian flag. Oh, you are from India. You So people are nowadays recognizing India. Just one sec. Unfortunately, I'm sitting where because other rooms are occupied. There is a train going on.
No problem.
So, so as I was telling, this preparation started a long time back, 2 years down the line. So we were giving our representation. So it all depends how you represent and how you give papers. India has been champion in causes of seafarers, criminalization, FAL related matters, MEPC, STCW, all this. There are so many committees and subcommittees. India was well represented. So then people start knowing you. So we started this campaign 2 years back so that our presence is felt. Slowly people started knowing us. Then all meetings we started going. Then 6 months down the line, we started giving gifts. Obviously you have to keep them in good books. So we started showing our culture. We started giving our flags, brochures, what all innovation we did. Then we had a diplomatic party 6 months before on the Thames River. We got all the diplomats and all the country related people. And then we had a cultural event. So to showcase our culture, we had shown our dance. It is like that only. It is like a festival there. No, each country showcasing their talent. So we were showcasing our talents. We were telling what is India. And what all things we did. So many things we did related to innovations, new practices. All these things which we did during COVID. So these all things were showcased, and it was not in a one-day affair. It is throughout the period. So down the line, people knew that what we were doing, and constantly our team was hitting like these all things we are doing, these all things we were doing. And it is all connect, one to one connect. And also, especially few people were embarked on this journey, like to have IMLI and WMU connect, because I am a WMU graduate, and all these people there in IMO are either IMLI or WMA connect. So basically senior or juniors. So we were able to connect the people, especially who were going to the committees, were catching, becoming the part of their group, creating the alumni network, and all this were being done. And High Commission on their side was doing their part, writing to High Commissions, their commissioners, their counterparts. DG did their part by writing to their DGs, all countries, all 175 countries, DGs were written letters to pledge our support, and we will support them. And from here, from the ministry, letters were written. So High Commission, ministry, DG shipping, everything, everybody was together with only one goal, one aim, that we should be on the top. So this is how India was represented, and we did our best. And I'm happy to share that 167 in our category, 167 were the votes, out of which 4 were invalid. 4 were, maybe they were not able to cast the vote properly. So out of 163, it is a record that we got 157 countries voting in our favor. This is a kind of a world record which has never happened. So the support for India was overwhelming. Everybody was coming and congratulating us and my team and our team members that you deserve to be number one. Everybody was congratulating. Winning was not it was a foregone conclusion, like the way we could develop our relationship. The only thing was we were always aiming for 1, 2, 3, and luckily we were able to top it.
Congratulations on that. And that's great to know.
It is a pride ki baat hai na.
Absolutely. I mean, to add just my two
Pride.
bits.
Right.
Yeah, it is all commitment from top, and all government departments have learned showcasing, lobbying, representing India in right way from the honorable PM Narendra Modi ji himself. So so it is all coming from top to every government department now, and I mean the idea of giving, showing in the not gifts as such, but what you presented to them, the India's power in doing something was a great idea. Of course, I mean, it must have been really fun. In all my desires, I would like to attend one of the IMO sessions just to understand, because we have done this before in the model UN and conferences and all in colleges and things like that. But this is live. This is live dealing with delegates of the nations and things like that. Excellent. But congratulations to you, Daniel, and your entire delegation, including the shipping secretary and DGS and everybody, who has really must have worked very hard, for last 1 year to get where we are today, and truly deserving win. I must say.
So just following up, which category was India represented, and how did India come into that category?
Okay, India was represented in category B, where India's interest in the international seaborne trade is largest. Captain Karanjikar can add on this, because the international seaborne trade of India is improved tremendously, and the economy under the dynamic leadership of our honorable PM has grown tremendously, if you can see, in last so many years, and we rightly fit in this category. So that's why India had fit and stood for this category, which Captain Karanjikar can obviously add on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is when the people vote for you, they vote for you seeing where are the country heading. India on three counts. Number one, emerging economy, and we just reached 4 trillion mark on the GDP. The very importantly, that even shipping global market is at 3.2 to 3.3 trillion today, and is expected to grow at 7%, and it will reach 4.3 trillion in 2031. So see, we are on so right track with that growth of the global shipping market and Indian economy. So our interest, of course, the others see that our interests are more into seaborne trade. We can be asset in that kind of group than providing, shipping services. Shipping services are basically, the manpower and the labor supply and things like that. Of course, we are there. We are there on some numbers, but we need to improve. That's fine. But at the moment, with the growing economy statistics and our push, in collaborating, even making, the trade happening in Indian rupees and things like that, it is really, blooming into the international arena, and it really pays a lot of value for an Indian. And as Daniel rightly said, the people must have seen us as that. Yes, this country. That's why he said people came and congratulated, saying that you deserve the win because your country is growing, and the world requires support of India's, large kind of population base, domestic market, where India. I mean, they want to see India there.
Great. Good to know. So sir, I mean, amazing. India won with the maximum number of votes. We are in category B. We are in the IMO Council. Now, from a perspective of, see, the overall maritime industry, how does it impact the industry? The first question is that, and then how does it actually affect a common, say, a mariner or a common maritime professional? If I may have your views on this, Captain Joseph and Captain Gajanan.
So I will talk on the main aspects, and trade part Captain Gajanan can cover on. The thing is, see, how does India get benefited? So, as I told you, see, now the world recognizes India as one of the top leaders, leading the way. You have more say. Obviously, you have one vote only in the Council, but you are part of the leadership group now, So India is always will be seen on a leadership role to take IMO and to take the countries along, So regional cooperation can be done better. So many countries now are coming forward to us to have joint papers, for representing their agenda, what they are having and how it will impact the shipping. If you can see, if you see category A, category B, and category C, India was the topmost in all three categories. If you see, no? 157. The others were only 156, 146 or 152. Any category if you take, India was the topmost. So if you can see, the pride is there, being part of council with the largest number of votes and with the support of every country, every member. So height of positivity, we were thinking, who are these 6 people who didn't vote for us? Everybody is in our side. So next our aim should be get all those people also who have not voted for us. So now it is a matter of pride that we are leading the way and others will join us, and this will have a positive impact in everybody, being championing the cause of not only seafarers, the other countries along. That is the victory what India has got. And trade part, how it will be affecting, I think Gajanan sir will be the best person to add on.
Over to you, Captain Gajanan.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. It is very important to have this kind of recognition, with the bodies like IMO, which represent directly on UN. Okay, I mean, India, of course, is there in UN everywhere. We are also trying to be a part of UNSCO and things like that. But on an international trade scenario, when a body like which controls the entire logistics industry or a maximum of logistic industry in the world, that is shipping, and that recognizing India with a large trade interest has lot of meaning towards the Indian shipping industry's growth. We are growing. I mean, we have our own India's plans also, like Sagarmala, even the portlet development and all that, where we are growing our maritime sector. But whether it is being recognized by the international shipping or not, and this is how the recognition has come to us. So there is a direct recognition of Indian, shipping to this. I mean, of course, we were not there. This is we have been re-elected. We were not there 10 years back, or we were not there 5 years back. It didn't matter to us directly a citizen as such. But it's a moment of pride that we should take as a shipping professional, that the Indian Maritime, administration has walked that extra mile, gone there, not only gone and come back, but they've made an impact into the international playfield and has got the accolade back. Getting the highest number of votes is not something which can happen every time. But as Daniel rightly said, the desire was to get those countries who didn't vote for us. So that requires change of perception. When Prime Minister goes to Bhutan and conveys them, Bhutan ka trade kya hai? I mean, no trade they have with us. But you go there and lure them, because Bhutan doesn't consider us as the import potential. And when we import from Bhutan, they feel very nice. So the Indian administration is again the quest of going to those countries who didn't vote for us. It's a change of perception that we are aiming at, and it's really commendable. I mean, I would really very heartily congratulate Indian administration and their changing face, with DDG in place, who has come from export kind of scenario where he understands the market statistics very well. And of course, people like Daniel, as you rightly described, is a messiah of seafarers. I mean, he's really a. I'm sure. I mean, a few years down the line, people will only call Daniel and not anybody else. All the organizations like radio, video will shut down. That is what it has taken the India to that level. Really, really grateful, Daniel, to you and your delegation, and of course DDG and Secretary Shipping, and really a great day for us.
Absolutely. Now, I feel so proud, knowing more about the India's, election over here, India's, membership in the council. And so also I think what would probably happen is that once the India will be in a position to influence the policy, influence the decision, which will probably be, in some way or the other, of course, in our favor as well. And all these decisions will trickle down to a common man, to maritime professionals in a very positive manner, and of course that pride will be there. But I'm sure it will also improve, somewhere or the other, a common mariner's, well-being as well. I'm sure that will also trickle down. Right. So just one more question: was India a council member before any time in IMO, and when was it? We know.
India has been a council member for long, since 85. But what happened in between, for a few years, India were not there, and elections were not there earlier. It was like basically whoever stands, they used to nominate. And 10 years back, from 10 years back, this election, for every biennial 2 years, it has started. And since elections, India have been always been there.
Great. Being there, but being there with the highest number of votes means, it's a different feeling altogether. And
It speaks about their efforts. Yeah, that's very important. I mean, they did not leave any stone unturned. Not just gone and come back and represented, having flag around. So
correct.
that was very commendable. I mean, the most thing. I mean, sure, PMO must have liked it very much as well, because they are the one who are very keen eye on all government departments as to how they perform. I'm sure some more accolades from the
Yes.
our PMO comes down to the D
Yes.
shipping and empowers them to do more things.
So we have tweeted this immediately. Our High Commission in London had tweeted, and immediately PM has, our Honorable PM has given a like to the status.
Nice.
And he has personally seen it, and obviously DG Shipping Secretary will be writing formally like what has happened, what India has gained. A brief note will be going. So obviously we'll be getting reply from the PM office.
Nice, sir. Nice. No, I think a very, very useful session, and I think it'll be very useful for persons in the maritime fraternity to know, to feel that proudness which we three feel right now, and for them to also, have that feeling. That'll be very, very, good, and they'll spread the word around. A mariner who's going to probably another country on a vessel, and if he can say that our country got the highest number of votes and we are an IMO Council. I mean, just being aware, just telling that would mean a lot. So yeah. And thank you, Captain Joseph, you and everyone in your team to make this happen. I appreciate that. And thanks, Captain Gajanan, for your inputs. Yeah, that's pretty much it for now.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.